Hey guys, real quick garden update. Show you what I got growing. Here is my compost tea. It has cow manure, mushroom compost, bone meal, fish fertilizer, Super Thrive, and then I'm feeding them with molasses. I'm also using some soap concoction to fight off the bugs and some diatomaceous earth. Alright, so this is what I'm watering them with, and I'll go ahead and show you the garden real quick. Let's go around here to the south side of the house. On the side here I have a peach tree. It's my first year peach tree. Put out fruit this year. I am aware that I have to wait 3 years before I can eat the fruit, but my wife said she's going to eat the fruit. So she's not in the truth like that, so what can I do? And here's an apple tree. It didn't put out any fruit this year, but this is my first year having an apple tree. My old first garden bed, I put the corn in. Everything I planted on the day that we had 12 hours of sunlight and 12 hours of darkness. That's the day I planted. I think it fell on a Wednesday. I hope that is not the Sabbath. For those that understand what I'm talking about, I don't think it is. I think it's the equinox, but it could be that day. I don't know. All right, here I have my strawberries. I put the cage around it because something was eating them. I wasn't sure, and I wasn't getting a harvest without there being little teeth marks in my strawberries. So I pulled those strawberries out and I put this cage around it. Some of the chicken wire I had left from building the fence. And these are my strawberries, and I've already got a couple of harvests, and these strawberries are growing pretty big in some places. I don't know if you can see. I have a horrible glare on this camera, so I can't tell what you guys can see. All right, here's my potato tower. You know, you just put the potatoes in there and keep covering it up with hay, water it, you know. I don't have any potatoes in there yet. I just built the tower with some of the leftover chicken wire, and I got some hay, and now I just have to get the potatoes. And then this is my fence, and as you can see, here's the garden. My wife only gave me this side of the house and the hill, so I have to work with what I got. Everything else is off limits. So let's start. As you can see, the big humongous squash is growing. I am shocked how well the squash is doing. I really didn't expect this area to do well because of the shading, but the squash is doing pretty good. What you see trellising up on this side is sugar snap peas, and I don't know if you can see this. Let me step over the fence real quick. I don't know if you guys can see, but I have snap peas. Look, they were flowers like 2 days ago, and now they're like snap peas. That's amazing. Yeah, but the squash is huge. Look at that. Wait, can I put my... You guys can see if I can back and put my hands on one of these leaves, and you guys can probably see how huge these things are. These things are huge. I'm shocked. Okay, and then on the other side here, let me see if I can get over here. We have green peas growing. So that's what you see trellising up on this side, are green peas. And then on the back end over there, the big fat plants with the leaves, not that one, because that leaf is coming from the squash, but this one, these are cucumbers. So I have, looks like 3 cucumber plants. One that's hidden under the leaf of that one, and then the one on the end there. So I have 3 cucumber plants. This right here, these coming up out of these little grow pods are bell peppers. That one died off. That one was transplanted. What I did was thin them out. I hate thinning. And when I was thinning them out, my heart just couldn't toss them out. I had to try to replant some of them to see if they'll make it. But I had to thin them out because this one took off, but it had like 3 or 4 buddies in there with them, and they were all huge. And I didn't want to disturb the root system, so I had to cut it. So I cut those, and then these were still small enough for me to just yank and pull them out. Apparently, I must have disturbed the root system of this one way too much, because I don't think that one's going to make it. But yeah, those are my bell peppers. And on the back end, I planted some sweet banana peppers. They haven't popped up yet. All right, let's go to the first row. The first row is onions. And I have been neglecting my onions. I haven't been hitting them with the compost tea. I just do the wood chips on top of them and just let them feed. And they're not doing that well, or at least they're not growing it like I think they should be growing. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but these onions aren't really, the tips are all yellow, and they're not, since I put them in, that they've gotten fatter, the stalks, but they're not growing. All right, on this row here, this is cauliflower. So, and what you're seeing sprinkled on all the plants is diatomaceous earth. I have to figure out how to stop these bugs from eating my plants. So between the diatomaceous earth and the soap spray, I'm hoping to be able to combat these. You'll see in a minute when I get up to the cabbage. I put another squash here in the corner. I had to find a place to transplant it. I started all this stuff from seed except for the onions and the garlic. They started from bulbs. And in this bed here is also onions. And if you can notice, I've been feeding this compost tea, this humongous squash plant, and then the surrounding onions around it are doing very well. So, and then the onions, as you get away from the squash, they're not doing that well. So at first I thought it was maybe because I put the wood chips over them, but it looks like if I just start feeding them with the compost tea, they'll bulk up, they'll green up, and get bigger. Okay, here is the Georgia collards on the next row. Again, I'm fighting the bugs, so I threw some diatomaceous earths, which makes me think that these aren't GMO. If the bugs are eating them, you know, or maybe the bugs just don't know any better. But we've all heard the scientific studies where you put the piece of potato in front of the rat and he'll eat the organic one. Here's some more onions that I didn't put wood chips over. They're doing decent for the most part. I thought I pulled up all the garlic, and then these huge leaves, looked like grass, started popping out of the ground. And I was gonna pull one, it was kind of hard, then I smelt it and it smelled like garlic. So I'm assuming that this is garlic growing up that doesn't have a bulb attached to it. I planted all the onions pretty shallow, just basically sat them on top of the soil. But this right here is garlic. And as you can see how the bulbs are sitting on top of the soil, that's an onion. That's garlic. And they just started popping out of the ground. I don't know where they are. I thought I dug them all up, so apparently there's some stuck in the ground somewhere. I'll find out once they start dying back. I'm not utilizing that side of the bed yet. I pulled all the garlic up out of there because it wasn't growing, because I tried to plant it like I did the onions, and it didn't do anything. So I guess I have to bury them deeper into the ground. Here we have broccoli. Again, I'm fighting off the bugs with the diatometric earth. It's like if I just slip for 1 week, all it takes is 1 week to neglect the garden, and bam, crop loss. All right, and then the next row is a failure, which is my spinach. Spinach, I've been hitting it off with compost tea, and it just won't do anything. They're green, they're healthy looking, but they're not moving. Again, everything was planted from seed. This one's about the most productive one. Seeds got the blowing everywhere, so I got stuff kind of just randomly growing off to the side. Like right here, you can see I have some spinach growing. Other places, I have a watermelon coming out the side of one of these little bins. It's just makes you okay, and it's just a makeshift type of garden. But okay, here we go. This is where the damage really occurred at. The cabbage. My cabbage got decimated. It looks like by, I don't know what. Them little, I know what they are. I don't know what they call them. They're these little green bugs. I want to say the moths come and lay them, and next thing you know, you got little worms crawling on your plant, just chewing and munching. And so I just threw diatometric earth all over it. I'm hoping the wood chips will keep it out of the soil, and let it stay on top there. And then when it rains, I'm going to have to come out here after it rains and maybe hit it with some of the soap. But this is my cabbage. It's doing pretty good. It's starting to head up there. If I can just keep the bugs out of it. The first round crown of the head is got holes in it and stuff. I don't know if you guys can see it. And last but not least, I direct sowed. I just dug up the ground, tilled it up, and I sowed right into the Georgia clay. And it's doing great. Actually, these are the plants that have given me the least problem. I think that's a Georgia collard there. And then I got this Bibb lettuce, Great Lakes lettuce growing. This is just directly sown into the soil. And then on the end there is a squash plant, and it's the biggest of all the squash plants. So all those squash plants over there, and even that one isn't as big as this one, and this is straight into the Georgia soil. And here I'm thinking that the Georgia soil is no good, but yeah, I wasn't going to do the raised bed. I was going to just do the trench thing, like dig a bunch of trenches and then amend the soil and then just directly sow into the ground. But I kind of raised them up because my wife wanted it to be a little more organized and not so ghetto. But, you know, whatever. And what we have here are grapes. And these are, I don't know what kind of grapes these are. Let's see if we can figure out what kind of grapes these are. These are Concord wine grapes. So I have them trellising down the back of the fence and up to the top of the fence. And I got to thinking about it because I was going to build a different trellis for them. I just put them back here until I figure out how I wanted to work with it. And I like it. I don't mind it trellising down the fence. I think it'll be cool. And we got watermelon coming up. This is what's in the back pot. And this pot is watermelon. And this pot is dill. Gonna can all them cucumbers and make some pickles. More watermelon, more watermelon, more watermelon, and a second grapevine. And you know why I got the grapevine. I don't even have to tell you. Our fathers, this is what they were all about. These are white. Let's see, these are white grapes. And when it comes to seeds and grapes, I don't know what is hybrid, what is not hybrid. So, and I'm trying to stay away from that stuff. All of this could really be abominable, everything I'm growing. But long as it has its seed in itself, which these grapes do, I'm gonna let my conscience rest on that it's not a hybrid type of grapevine. So there you have it, guys. That's it. From the back of the garden, you can see I got the lettuce, watermelon, the grapevines trellising down. Then I have the cabbage, my poor spinach that doesn't want to grow, and I even put some in the clay late in the game because it was I had noticed that it wasn't doing it, and it's no, I mean, it's gotten a little bigger than the others, but it's not really doing anything either. So it might be out of season, whatever kind of spinach this is. Then next you have the what is that? My Georgia collards? Yeah, those are my Georgia collards. The Georgia collards. Then you have the no, those aren't Georgia collards. Those are broccoli. Broccoli. Next is the onions. Then next is the Georgia collards. There, that's the Georgia collard. More onions, and then the cauliflower. The peas, squash, beans. So you know, that's what I'm doing. There's the corn, strawberries, and then the trees would be off to in front of that big tree there. So yeah, so there's my garden. I guess I'm gonna see exactly how much I can grow and can it up so I can preserve it and see how long I can feed my family and how much room I need to really use to feed my family. All right, shalom.